And welcome to week 19 of Walk the Plank, the Perry Athletic Department podcast. We'll take a deep dive into the week that was Perry Athletics. We'll take a preview of this weekend's upcoming events and get into next week events as well. And as we get closer and closer to our postseason, as always, joined by Gene Winters, my co-host. Thanks for being here, Gene.
Yeah, cold outside, but it seems like a lot of the teams are starting to heat up a little bit here and get their seasons either off and running, or maybe the turning point of their seasons have begun already.
I think as we speak, it's about -10 wind chill out there, but our teams are playing well, and we're past that midpoint. We talked about that a few weeks ago. We're sort of at the midpoint, and it's just the grind of the season. And now as we enter closer to February, we're only a week away. And again, that postseason is going to be right around the corner for a lot of our teams. So we'll preview a lot today. We're going to kick things off with our head basketball coach here at Perry High School, Ali Stefano. Coach Ice, thanks for being here.
Yeah, happy to be here. Thanks, guys.
All right, not a problem. 2 straight wins here after a tough part of the schedule at the very beginning of the season. A lot of home games, but a lot of tough competition. And now, I think last week we beat Madison on Saturday after a tough night out at Hawken, who is a Final Four team from last year and probably going to make another deep run based on what I saw on Friday night out at Hawken. Turn around on a quick turn and have to play Madison, a rival game at 5 o'clock the next day, so less than 24 hours later. And I was really impressed with how our boys came out and not only played really good basketball, but their intensity. You could tell the focus was there right off the bat.
Yeah, that's credit to our guys, and they were definitely fully engaged and excited to play that Madison team on Saturday. Yeah. But just as much credit goes to them on Friday night, because that was not an easy situation there at Hawken. And we said before the game, we talked about it at halftime when we were down 15-plus points, that we need to get better through this situation, and we did. We shot the ball pretty decently against Hawken. We scrapped like crazy against Hawken. We're just a little overwhelmed with their talent and their experience and their athleticism. But we did what we needed to do on Friday night, not necessarily in regards to results, but in regards to habits and mentality. And I think that kind of set the tone for that quick turnaround on Saturday against Madison, and helped us be on the right side of that thing on Saturday.
And the so-called tough portion of your schedule is over with now. How do you look back at your team and kind of gauge where you were? Was it kind of what you were expecting? Did you maybe perform a little bit better than you were thinking in this beginning stretch, or was it kind of right around where you thought maybe you left a couple of things out on the court?
Yeah, I think I can't say for sure what I expected in the first 10 to 11 games, other than it was going to be very difficult with playing Harvey twice and Hawken twice. Short preseason there with football getting extended, and even some of our non-conference games with Lake Catholic and Grand Valley and even South. Those are tough non-conference games. So we just knew it was going to be tough. We didn't know where we'd be win or loss, and these guys, again, they win or lose, they compete like crazy in games, and they show up and show consistency in practice. And so I'm just really impressed with their mentality here through the first 8 weeks of the season, and look forward to continuing on here.
And from a coaching standpoint, is there any advantage to getting maybe some of those tougher games out of the way? You're gonna, whether it's the beginning part, the middle part, is it better to spread them out? I probably could have helped you with that if you have a real opinion on that one way or the other. But we did stack them all sort of there. At the beginning, that's how they fell. And, off the bat, we were behind a little bit just because, like you mentioned, football. But now everybody's on an equal playing field. Here we are. It's toward the end of January, and we're this, for sure in the second half of the season. But any advantage to getting those things out of the way and over with, or
if you have me back on episode 23, I'll let you know.
Okay. It's about 4 weeks.
I told the guys at the end of the day, it's just 2 wins. It is what it's nice to have stacked 2 together for the first time of the year. But Edgewood doesn't care, and it doesn't. When we go there on Tuesday, and we have a long ways to go in regards to kind of going where we want it as a team and playing the way that we want to play. But I do think there is some advantages to playing some of the teams that we did. There's guys, like I said, Harvey, very experienced basketball team. Same thing with Hawken, and some of the other non-conference games. Those were some top-tier teams on our schedule. So hopefully it pays off in the second half of the schedule. And that's, as we have said to the kids, by no means does it mean it's light or easy.
Yeah.
It's just a little bit different than some of those teams that
yeah.
we've played.
You don't want that.
We got a lot of tough opponents left.
You don't want that mentality either. Like
Yeah,
you totally switch over, like, oh, it's going to be a cakewalk here tonight. That's never going to be the case in high school basketball. You're going to find tough opponents no matter what their record is, no matter what. I think it just gives credit to the showing how tough our schedule is right now. With a 5-8 record, we're in the middle of the pack in the RPI. So even before our last couple of wins, we were in the low 20s. Now we're 19th out of like 40 teams, so for those of you who don't know, the Martin RPI is what's used to seed basketball, boys and girls, for that postseason tournament. So even with a little below 500 record, we're right there. And if we can make a couple of runs, get a couple more wins, I think you're going to see that RPI ranking go up and give us the best chance to compete for as long as we can in the postseason.
And for you this year, obviously, graduation happens every year. You lose kids. You lose two of the top scorers in the area from last year. How has your offense changed a little bit? Or with the pieces coming in, guys that might have had some experience last year, now you're really relying on them to come out and perform.
Yeah, we changed what we did last year to this year completely, because typically most of the nights, not all of them, last year we probably had the two best players on the court with Vince and Darian. And this year things have changed. And that's no disrespect to the guys that we have now.
Yeah.
They're a different type of basketball player than those two. So we have changed our offense, and we're still kind of learning. We've tweaked and adjusted even to what we were running early on in offense, and still trying to figure out what gives us the best efficiency and the best opportunity to have some solid possessions out there offensively. So yeah, it's definitely been a little bit of adjustment. Pretty young with starting. Prior to Traxon's injury, the 4 juniors and a sophomore. One thing that hasn't changed with these guys though is their defense. They're very engaged, and they scrap and they work hard, and they're on the same page, and they've bought into how valuable that is for our opportunities to try to win games.
And to go back real quick just to last year, you've been around the Perry basketball program for a long time, between a player, assistant, head coach. We had Vince on a couple times last year, and he mentioned that him and Darian are arguably the best backcourt duo in Perry history. So you've seen a lot of players come through this program.
Yeah.
Is he correct?
Well, I think Braden Richards and Jake Covison would have something to say about that. I think, you go back to the Jackson and DJ combo from a while back. They probably would have something to say about that.
Mike Patrick
exactly. London and Staley and those guys. So I don't know how well he knows his Perry basketball
Rockwell
history.
and Flanner. Come on. For sure.
But they're pretty darn good. Yeah. There's no doubt about it. And, it's good to be part of that conversation from Perry high school basketball standpoint. But,
Yeah, Vince. That's typical Vince. I'm not shocked that was his comment. But, those guys could definitely, put the ball in the basket. And we knew that was going to be one of the challenges, moving forward to this year. You're graduating, close to 40 points, 45 points a night of offense, and somebody's got to score the basketball for us. We're not going to win games 8-6. So, I think the offense was, we struggled a little bit at the beginning trying to find that rhythm and who was going to score. Now, these last couple of games, we've really sort of lit it up. Caden Brewster's gotten hot. He's shot the ball very well, and sometimes it's just a confidence thing with these guys, right? Because they are mainly juniors. We have Michael, we have Brady as our seniors. Brady's hurt for the year; he's injured, so he's out. And so a lot of these guys didn't play last year. They don't have a ton. We didn't have a ton of experience coming back, whether we were looking for them to score or just play defense and rebound. Like Carter has a different role this year than he did last year. We didn't need Carter to score last year. Now we need him to score a little bit. So I think it's just taking some time to sort of move into that. And the confidence standpoint, I think I mean, just talk to us a little bit about that as a shooter, like what that means when you make you make your first 1 or 2 shots, and now you're sort of feeling it. And
Yeah,
you go
well,
play.
that kind of goes back to that Hawkins situation.
Yeah.
You mentioned Caden. He's our lead guy in regards to scoring through the 13 games that we've played.
Yeah.
And he was really struggling to find some consistency and find some rhythm. And he was either 6 for 10 or 6 for 11 against Hawken. So again, you look at the score and you think maybe we didn't accomplish a whole lot out there on that Friday night. But that was a big deal because that transferred right in the next day. I think he shot the same or pretty darn close to the same percentage and efficiency on Saturday, and continue that Tuesday night or Wednesday night at Crestwood. And you're right about some of the guys still trying to find some rhythm and some confidence because they're being asked to do some things that they didn't do as what Carter did start last year, but with those 2 scorers. And then the other guys were kind of role guys or dominantly JV players. So, but they are, like I said, and evident on some of the results, they are trending in the right direction. And Jim, back to your last question, we left, just in case, I don't know how many alumni listen to this. It might be none, but it might be a lot. I don't know.
We don't know
Drew Schiano and Nate Covison would probably like to be in that.
That was the one I always.
They'd like to be in that conversation too.
I'll take Rockwell and Flunner out and put in Schiano and Nate. I think that's both 1,000-point scorers, by the way. Both of those guys.
And playing at the same time.
Right.
Yes.
Which is pretty cool.
Well, I think next alumni game, I think we're going to have a little 2-on-2 tournament. I wish we had you before Christmas.
Spice it up a little bit.
Done,
yeah, I like it.
Last week we had Carter on, as we mentioned. He mentioned what the strengths are of this team. I'm interested to see if your strengths match his. So what do you think are the strengths of this team?
I think our defensive mentality is one of the strengths. I think our athleticism, our speed is a strength. They're unselfish kids. Their mentality and mood, it doesn't change. We've been, we're down 41-19 at halftime against Harvey, and you're in the locker room and you don't see desperation, you don't see finger pointing, you don't see arguing. Just see guys that are ready to go out and compete and try to get back in the thing in the second half, which they did. We got it down to 8 and a couple possessions to get it down to 5 or 6 that we just couldn't convert. We were down 10-12. We were down 12 against Lakeside, came out and competed like crazy and was able to get that win at home. Down 8 in the middle of third quarter against West G, same thing. Just stay the course, keep battling, wait for that run to happen, able to get that win. So I think those are some of the strengths that you get with the guys this year.
Is it hard to get young kids to buy into defense? I mean, obviously offense is what sells and that's what everyone remembers, but defense really turns the game, makes your offense potentially easier.
Not with these guys.
Okay.
It's not. No, they bought into it from the early conversations in the season. And I know our results in regards to 13 games, 5 and 8. They're winners. You see it in the fall. You see it in the ones that compete in the spring. You see it at the levels that they played at prior to varsity basketball. So they have a winning mentality. They have winning habits. And so it's not difficult with these guys.
And his answer was getting out in transition was what he had. So you're right. You play that defense, it turns into easy baskets, and away you go.
Yeah.
All right, Coach. Well, I know you got class here in like 1 minute, so we'll let you get out of here. But appreciate you spending some time with us. We will. You mentioned episode 23. We'll book that in. It'll be about 4 weeks from now, and that will be the time that we're getting ready to go with our postseason stuff. So we'll have you back on. We'll sort of preview the second half or review the second half of the year and preview the postseason and what our seeds are and all that kind of stuff.
Sounds good.
All right, best of luck.
Right,
We've
thanks,
got Edgewood on Tuesday.
Edgewood Tuesday and
West G on Friday. Road
Friday.
Warriors are we. So we're back at it.
Well,
all right.
ready to go.
Thanks, Coach.
All right, thanks, guys.
Appreciate it.
Take care.
Yeah, as you mentioned, 19th in the RPI, which is huge. But as you were just talking about, 6 of the next 8 games for the Pirates will be on the road. So you have 2 more chances to watch them here, potentially more with the postseason. But all these events are close enough where you can travel with them for 6 of those 8 games.
Absolutely, and we're Edgewood. We're at 2 really good. Crestwood had it was a Wednesday night, random Wednesday night. They didn't have a great student section. They had some. Edgewood on Tuesday is going to be a tough place to play because of their student section and because of their crowd. And West G next Friday night, the 30th, will be packed. So it's going to be great in basketball environments for the next 2 games for sure. And we beat West G in overtime here in Perry, so that's going to be down to the wire, I'm sure. And Edgewood is always a good rivalry basketball-wise. We've had our run-ins with those guys for many years and had some really good games. So exciting time here. We're on a little 2-game win streak. Hopefully we can keep it rolling in the next week as well.
Yeah, and that is a good transition because West G, that's a team that the girls played on Wednesday.
Yeah, Wednesday
all my
as
days
well.
are getting confused
I know,
now.
well.
They're all just kind of blend together. But
Our
they had
snow day.
a great road win there, a CVC championship that they were able to claim, and I think it sets up perfectly for the next guest.
For the next guest, Adriana Polzer, come on up. She is our lone senior, the lone wolf for our girls basketball program. Adriana, we've added a little bit of, you get a Canes basket box combo as well now. So little DQ. We thank DQ. We thank Canes and Menor for their support of our Athlete of the Week program. So enjoy those. You've certainly earned it. As Mr. Winter said there, the girls wrapped up a CVC championship just 2 days ago. We're shooting this on a Friday morning, Wednesday night at West G in a tough place to play on the road in a conference game. And we come out on top, but not without a little bit of adversity right off the bat with Mia Lynch going down in that first quarter with an ankle. Coach Infalvi, one reason you're sitting next to me is he was really proud of how you came in and played that night. So how does that feel having to come off the bench and be like, all right, now, hey, you're going to play a little bit more maybe than most nights?
I was excited. I was ready for the opportunity to get a little bit more playing time than I am used to, and I think for me personally, it was also a good learning game, I guess, because I'm not used to being out there as much and playing the spot that I was. So
that's awesome.
I think it was good.
Well, again, kudos to you. It's never a tough situation when you don't know from game to game exactly how many minutes you're going to play, and you obviously always want to maximize your minutes. But best of luck moving forward too. I know Mia's probably going to be out for at least a couple of weeks, so I'm sure that role's going to be the same for you. So good luck as we go here.
Thanks.
In a game with West G, when she goes down so early, how do you just go out and continue to play and not kind of think about her? I'm sure it's still in the back of your mind, but how do you kind of push that aside? Because you guys still had 3 quarters of basketball left.
Yeah, so when she went down, it was towards the end of the first quarter, and so our coaches told us, finish the first quarter, and go through. And there was about, a minute or 2 left, I think. So it was really just having the focus as much as we can on just finishing the first quarter, and then after that we had a minute to, regroup and talk about how the rest of the game's going to go. So I think we handled that pretty well.
Yeah, and they started out with a nice run in the second quarter to kind of, I don't want to say put the game out of reach because, of course, in the second half, West G did make a nice run to make it a game before you guys kind of pulled away there towards the end. So, and for you now, Mr. Rockwell kind of mentioned it, as you start to look at the final 8, 9, 10 games of the season, do you put more pressure on yourself now knowing that maybe you have more of an extended role, or do you just kind of continue to play your game?
I think sometimes there might be a little bit of pressure, but I'm going to try and just do what I know how to do. So.
Well, that's all. That's a great mentality to have because you can only do so much. You can do what the coaches ask you to do, and we know you're going to do that to the best of your ability. We had John in soccer at the end of soccer season, and sort of preseason for basketball. So, like we said, we're over the halfway point now. Our record of 7-0 in the CVC. We're 11-3 overall. So we've got those 8 games left. What will you take away from this as a senior? And we'll talk about senior night here in a second. Just being a part of this group of girls. Each year is a little bit different. We only have 12 girls in the program overall, grades 9 through 12. So our numbers are down. So are a lot of teams in the area for whatever reason. But this year's team, and as the senior leader, how has this group sort of come together and gelled together?
Yeah. So, like you said, we are really small, and I think we're also, since we're so young, we really learned how each other play this year, and just have built that connection, knowing how each other play when we're practicing, and then taking that to games, and we've figured out oh, this person's gonna like make a back cut or just something
Yeah.
simple like that. Like we've learned to figure that out, and so I think that's how we got into our nice groove of playing together.
And, again, kind of piggyback off that, graduation happens every year. There are a number of freshmen and maybe some underclassmen, sophomores that had a little bit of time last year. But what have you seen from this young group? Because, between Hopkins and Tresker and Flutter, like, the girls are coming out and performing now that they're getting their opportunity. What have you seen or witnessed from the younger girls?
I think I've seen a really hard work ethic, and I've definitely seen that in practice. Not giving up. Sometimes it's hard, and you just have to keep trying and working at it. And I think especially like our freshmen and the youngers have definitely put in the hard work, and I've noticed it. So.
And we have senior day, technically, tomorrow. We host Hawken at home, so our JVs will play 2 quarters at noon, and then varsity will tip off around 1 p.m. So we'll have senior day, and we'll be honoring. You'll be out there by yourself, but that's all right. It should be. The spotlight's going to be on Adriana, and that's fine. That's how it should be. She's been part of our program for all of these years. So we're excited to honor her tomorrow at about 12:45 in between games. Any nerves on senior day? You did it in soccer, so this is senior day or senior night number 2. Any nerves at all? Just ready to go?
I mean, it's definitely different because I'm all by myself,
Yeah.
but I'm
Yeah.
excited.
Yeah.
It'll be good.
Awesome.
Do you change anything? Like, are you going to be able to sleep? I mean, again, you just treat it as another game, I'm sure, but
Yeah.
there's a lot going on. And being the focal point tomorrow and the day all about you, does it, change anything? Are you going to be able to sleep tonight?
I'll be able to sleep tonight. I'm excited for practice today, though, to get it and work and make sure that I feel confident enough and ready for.
And what your role is.
tomorrow. Yeah.
Now, we had a rough game at Menor, so we talked a little bit with Coach Isofano. Rough game for the boys out at Hawken the Friday before we played Madison. They bounced back in a huge way and took care of the Blue Streaks, beat them by about 20 points, played our best game of the year. And then so we play Monday at Menor. It's a rough go, obviously a huge school, very good program, all of those things. We take it on the chin and then turn around, though, on Wednesday with only 1 day in between and have to go on the road again and play. What did we take away from that Menor loss? Even though it was a loss, what did we learn from that to make us better for the next game?
Yeah. I think, like our coaches, we talked about how that Menor game, like, they were good.
Yeah.
And we, like, losing that game just taught us, like, showed us the little things that we do need to work on. And I think we took that to practice the next day and had the focus of winning our CVC and beating West G the next night. So we know now, like, what to expect when we play those tougher teams later down the road. And I think just skill-wise and things like that, we learned a lot.
Awesome.
And how do these non-conference games help you guys prepare now for the postseason? Obviously, getting a Menor late, you guys have 8, 9, 10 games left, but playing a team like that now, you have, I think, a Rootstown coming up, a Riverside. So you guys still have some really tough non-conference games, but how do those kind of games prepare you for the postseason?
They get us ready, like whether it's in a conditioning type of game or just in a skill-wise game. They really do help us prepare and get ready, and we can see the mistakes that we're making and what we need to improve on.
All right.
Yep.
Adriana, congratulations on being our Athlete of the Week this
you.
time for basketball. Senior day tomorrow. Come out noon for JV, 1 p.m. for varsity, and in between we'll intro Adriana and her parents. What are some of your plans after graduation? Being a senior, you're gonna walk across the stage here middle part of May. Any plans that you know of for sure after graduation?
Yeah, I'm going to go to college. Right now it's looking either Walsh or Mount Union.
Okay.
And then I'm going to major in education.
All right. Any particular level?
I'm not sure yet.
Not sure. So
That's
elementary,
something
middle,
there.
high school.
Maybe
They're all-
elementary or middle.
Okay, they're all a little bit different for sure.
Yeah.
So, well, congratulations on
Thank
being
you.
our Athlete of the Week.
Thank you.
and enjoy the food, and we'll see you tomorrow.
Thank you for having me.
All right, Adriana Polzer, Women's Basketball Athlete of the Week.
Yeah, senior day tomorrow, as Mr. Rockwell mentioned. JV will start at noon. Senior day around 12:45. Tip with Hawken, but then the Pirates, the Lady Pirates, will play 7 home games in a row. So if you haven't had a chance to come out and see them yet, there's plenty of time over the next 2-3 weeks where they'll be at home a lot, where you can come out and support this team. 11-3, as Mr. Rockwell mentioned, CVC champs with that win over West G, and they're also fourth in the RPI.
Yeah, back-to-back CVC champs. Fourth in the RPI is huge because it's going to play into that postseason seeding that we talked about earlier with Coach Isofano. Being the fourth seed gives you a lot of flexibility. We can pass at the top a little bit. We can sort of wait and see where to go and where the best bracket is going to be for us. So I know the girls want to keep on winning. It's sort of opposite the boys and girls schedules, and sometimes this is the way it works, just based on availability of dates and so on. But the boys were at home a lot early. Now they're on the road. Girls have been on the road. Now their next 7 are at home. So they've got a really big streak. But they're also maybe their schedule is a little bit tougher from a non-conference standpoint. You mentioned Riverside. We have Gilmore. We have Rootstown.
Yes.
All those non-conference games. The good news about them is it's going to get us ready for that postseason run. So win or lose those games, we want to be competitive. We want to go win. It's going to help us come sectional district postseason time for sure.
Yeah, and the last thing, we kind of touched on it with Adriana with Mia going down early in that game. I did hear she was at practice yesterday, not practicing, just there to support the girls, so already back. So that's also a good thing to see with her being there with that group and showing that, yes, I may be hurt, but I'm here, still with you guys.
Absolutely, and we hope she gets. We're going to need her for that postseason run, so hopefully she can get healed up and ready to roll. We'll transition right over from our basketball over to our swim program, and we'll call up Landon Avery. He is our male athlete of the week. Thanks for being here, Landon. Congratulations.
Thank you for having me.
All right. We'll get the food out of the way here. So if you didn't know, you get your free meal deal from the DQ here in Perry, as well as a Blizzard. And then Canes is our newest sponsor of our Athlete of the Week. You get a box combo out at Canes. We'll get to some of your favorite foods later here as we get to know you. But let's just kick right off and get into the swim season that's been. Coach Scheider had a lot of positive things to say about you as a leader, being voted captain this year and all of those things. So just overall season so far, and then we can sort of go back to CVC and Perry Invitational. But how has the season gone for you up to this point?
I mean, it's been fun.
Yeah.
I mean, and I've gotten a lot of progress.
Okay.
Like the new guys, the new freshmen coming in, you've really made the season a lot more pleasant for me.
Yeah.
Because swimming is really hard.
Yeah.
A lot, and they just really, the vibe was positive this year. I really enjoyed that.
Well, really having the numbers up, right? Like you
Yeah.
mentioned, we got some incoming freshmen, and our numbers are now to the point, instead of just being 4 or 5 guys and wondering, are we going to have enough for every relay to fill? Now we can fill all of our relays. We can go compete for a CVC championship and things like that. So just the numbers of having a full team from that number standpoint is huge. And I think being selected captain obviously says a lot about you and your leadership and the time that you've put in, because you said it exactly right. If you walk down to the pool every day at 3 o'clock, these guys are in there, you're chugging away thousands and thousands of yards every day. And it's not the most pleasant thing to do, right? It's just, but you got to get the yards in. It's got to get you quicker. But so let's just talk about that CVC. We can actually compete for a CVC championship. And we did just that last week down at Cleveland State on Sunday. Ended up coming in second overall, CVC runner-up. So quite an accomplishment from going from, in the years past, based more on individual stuff because we just couldn't compete at that level. What does that mean to this program and to you guys as a team for being CVC runner-up last Sunday?
I think it just is a testament to how hard we work and want to succeed in our events. I think this is the 3rd year in a row that we've gotten runner-ups, runner-ups to Beechwood, and we were really excited about that. We were repeat. Yeah. And Beechwood's got a really big team,
They do.
And a lot of a lot of Brody Hickses out there.
Right.
So for us to come second to them is really big achievement for us.
That's awesome.
And you mentioned Brody. We've had him on a couple of times this year and last year. What have you learned from him? Obviously, he's one of the, if not the greatest swimmer in Perry history. What is it like training with him, working with him, learning from him in your time as a swimmer here at Perry?
Yeah, he provides like a lot of great advice on how to race. Like he's been doing it for like, you know, a while, like single digits, I guess.
Yeah, right.
And every time I race or like do the 500, my main event, he's always like giving me advice, like your flip turns, you know, kicking off the wall, getting faster as the race goes on. He's really wanted to see everybody get better, and that's just, I think, shows how much he enjoys this sport.
Yeah, he really does. And so you mentioned how long he's been. We've had Brody on now multiple times, and we know he started at a young age. How long have you been at this sport of swimming, and how did you get started?
So I started freshman year.
Okay.
I had never been on a team before. My main thing is track.
Yep.
Like I'm a runner,
Yeah.
and I need something to stay in shape between the fall season and the spring season.
Yeah.
And I decided I was going to do swim, and that was kind of because I watched the 2021 Olympics, and
Okay.
I'm like, I want to do that someday.
Right.
Maybe not the Olympics, but
Yeah,
definitely
yeah.
swim. Yeah. And it's really, taken, kind of a place in my athletic life, and I've
Yeah.
really enjoyed it.
And what you mentioned 500, that's your main event. What other events do you like to do, or what other events do you do on a meet-to-meet basis?
My other signature event would be the 100 breaststroke.
Okay.
And that's because I'm like one of the few who can do it really well. I
Mhm.
mean, I just kind of picked it up. Coach says I'm a natural breaststroker.
Okay.
And it's kind of become what I do consistently, and
Yeah.
I've gotten really a lot better at it.
Awesome. And how about relays? So we had a first place CVC relay last week, and a second team CVC. What's your favorite relay to be part of?
My favorite relay, I don't think I've swam it yet this year, but it's the 200 free relay.
Okay.
And it's just do a 50 as fast as you can, and really gets you going. And it's after the 500, like right
Okay.
after. So sometimes I would do the 5 and then go right into that, and I'd be hyped up because
Yeah.
I just swam fast or
Right.
something.
Okay, cool.
And how do you prepare for your first swim of the day? Are you in headphones? Are you talking with other guys? Are you sitting by yourself? How do you prepare yourself for that first race of the day?
A lot of mental preparation goes in, I think, first.
Mm-hmm.
And then, talking with the other guys, kind of keeping their hopes up, kind of getting them to keep your hopes up, and, keep motivating them and, cheering them on as they go, because, it really goes a long way towards, I guess, your success.
And we talked about it with Adriana. Senior day for girls basketball tomorrow. We have senior night tonight for our boys and girls swim team. So we have a home meet this evening that'll start at 6 p.m. We'll intro our seniors at about 5:45. What has this group of seniors meant to you being part of this swim program?
I mean, obviously Brody, he's been pushing me to get better and better, and he's always kind of been that guy there, like, I want to be like him, like how he swims, his work ethic. And like Luke and McCoy, I've been with them since freshman year in the same lane, working together hard every day.
Right.
And they've pushed me in every little set we do, everything, just kind of keep with them and keep pushing them, and they've helped me with that.
That's awesome.
Do you ever think back to that first time you jumped into the pool as a freshman to where you are now? I'm sure there was, probably some nerves, some scariness. Can I make it even across the pool without, running out of gas? To
That's
now
what-
being able to go back and forth with ease.
Yeah, I remember we had preseason swim, and it was open pool, and I decided I'm gonna go before actual practices start, and I do a 25, and I'm like, man, this is really hard. because I did run and I had the expectation I'd be, really good at it off the bat because cardiovascular stuff.
Sure.
Um,
Yeah, because you're in good shape coming off across country, right? So it's not necessarily that you're concerned about. It's just there's so much. I think this is the thing that I didn't realize. And I'm not a big swimmer, but I've swam and just to try to get a workout in. But it's so technical. Like there's a lot of things it's so technical to how you're moving how you're kicking your legs, how you're moving your arms, how your hand. There's everything involved, and I'm sure that's what the coaches have been able to work with you guys on it, and people like Brody have been able to sort of help you with that technique to make you quicker, right, faster.
Yeah.
Do you have a favorite pool outside of Perry? Favorite place to swim?
I've gone to, I think I would say Spire.
Okay.
Or, Spire because really fast. It's a very big room.
Yeah.
Stands on both sides and
Yeah.
got 2 pools. And I've always done really, really well there, I think. And it's cold there. The water's cold, but, it gets me going,
Yeah.
I guess.
Yeah. And so we were at Cleveland State for the first time this past weekend at CVC. Speaking of cold, I heard it was cold on the pool deck.
Yes.
Their heating system is broken. So I did get a couple of words on that it was pretty chilly out there on the deck. Probably felt good in the pool. And unfortunately, Spire is not able to host sectionals this year, so we're heading back to Cleveland State for sectionals and districts. So it might be a little chilly go on the pool deck. But as you guys get to, we have senior night tonight. We have one more home meet next week, and then we're at Beechwood next weekend, and then sectionals like that first Friday, February 6th, I believe. 7th out at Cleveland State. What are you guys going to be doing over these next 10 days to 2 weeks to get ready for that postseason? Is this tapering yet? Are you to that area of the season, or does that start a little bit later down the road?
I kind of just go into every practice and meet with the same mentality. Go hard, go fast. Some days are obviously different than others. Some meets are more important.
Sure.
In the, long run, I guess.
Yeah.
But my mentality is kind of just give it all you got and, go from there after that, see what you need to work on, kind of rinse and repeat, I guess.
Okay. All right, Landon. Well, we appreciate your time. Congratulations on being our Athlete of the Week. We're going to end this session here with you with just some get-to-know-you questions, so no wrong answers for this, but we'll rip through these and get you on out of here. What is your favorite food?
I really like tacos, homemade.
Homemade tacos. All right. Favorite subject in school?
Used to be history or social studies, but I'd say science now.
Science,
I really
all right.
enjoyed Koneski's teaching and
Okay.
anatomy. that
Awesome.
stuff. Yeah.
Cool. Do you have a favorite movie or television series?
Movie, I would say probably Top Gun 2.
Okay.
I really enjoyed that.
That's a good
was
one.
a
I
fun
would concur. Great movie. Any hobbies? So again, you're running cross country in the fall. You're swimming in the winter. You're back running for our track team in the spring. Any hobbies outside of all of the athletics that you do here at Perry?
I'm involved in the band. And that's kind of been the consistent thing for me this entire time. Like, I actually do soccer, not cross. But,
that's my fault.
you're
That's my fault.
good.
I knew that.
Like soccer, swim, track, but band is kind of the consistent year round.
Yeah.
And I've really enjoyed it. I've gotten a lot better. And I'm excited to finish it off this year.
Finish the band off.
Yeah.
I've announced your name like 100 times at a soccer match, so I should know that as a starter, multiple-year starter for our team. Favorite app or game on your phone?
Favorite app? I think right now it's Among Us because it's gotten really popular with the swim team.
Okay.
Like post-meet on the bus, going back, we just all hop on an Among Us game, and it's really fun.
Awesome. So lots of memories from Perry, like you mentioned, soccer, swim, track, band, lots of things going on in your life. What are some of your favorite memories you're going to take away from being here at Perry for school?
All the big events I've been a part of, like athletic and like academic. Probably like the postseason, watching the state tournament happen in football.
Yeah.
From the sidelines and band was really special. Kind of got to be a part of that.
Yeah.
Getting big PRs, big times with my team.
Yeah.
Throughout the seasons, and those probably, and like seeing myself grow and seeing others grow is probably going to be my biggest takeaway.
Awesome.
Yeah.
And then if you could visit any place in the world, money's not an object, where would you go?
Favorite place? I'd say Italy, Rome.
Okay.
Probably.
Yep. It's a good one. That's a popular answer for sure, and it's I know it's beautiful, so good choice there. All right, Landon Avery, Male Athlete of the Week. Thanks for being here.
Thank you.
Congratulations on a great year so far. Enjoy some food, and then best of luck here. We'll keep everybody updated as we're trucking towards this postseason and how all you guys are doing.
Okay.
All right, thank you so much, Landon Avery.
Thank you.
Yeah, senior night tonight, so get out here. You could come right here to Perry, watch senior night, then watch a very intense swim meet here tonight at Perry. So get out here and support the team. What time are the festivities begin?
6 p.m. We'll kick things off. So we'll hopefully start at 6 for the swim meet, which means intros for the seniors will be about 5:40, 5:45. So come on out tonight. It is going to be cold out there, but I don't think there's a lot of snow in the forecast. So come on out and support our seniors here for swim.
And then the other part of the CVC meet last week was the girls' side. I know they were going for 7 straight.
We did not. Our streak was stopped, and we came in second. So
Okay.
we finished second overall last week at the CVC. So I know they were disappointed, but all good things have to come to an end. At some point, and we weren't going to win the CVC for like the next 20 years or something. So I know we will rebound from it and be fine as we start to hit this again. We're really close to postseason for swim with those. With that sectional being February 6th down in Cleveland State, and then districts the following Friday, the 13th, and then the state swim and so on. So, we're not that far away from entering that postseason run for these guys and girls.
And sticking with the girls' side, the wrestling team, they're off this weekend.
They are off.
Last weekend, at Fremont Ross, they had a very good performance, not just at the high school level, but middle school as well.
Yeah, for sure. 8th out of 35 teams, at the high school level. So with only 6 wrestlers competing, Abby Cornwell was first, Maddie Hodge was second, Eva Kucher was second. Our middle school wrestlers, Reagan Lieben was second, and Cora Mann was second. So, I mean, just again, that's the girls wrestling, the sport of girls wrestling has taken off, and sometimes we have to go far places. So
Right.
Fremont Ross is one of them. It's not around the corner, 2 to 2.5 hours away, but our girls compete at a very, very high level, and hats off to them and our coaches. So they get a weekend off, and then they're back to Bellefontaine or Bellefontaine. I've heard both.
You're right.
I don't know which one is correct, but they're off to Bellefontaine. We'll go with that one. And another big tournament next weekend. So a well-deserved little rest here this weekend.
And on the boys' side, we featured a number of guests the last 3 weeks between players and Coach Trenelli coming in. They had a big one last week out in Maumee.
Yeah, huge. So proud of their accomplishment. Like 60 teams. All right, it's one of the biggest tournaments in the state of Ohio. Here we are. We're a middle-sized to smaller-sized school. There's teams from out of state. Michigan, Brighton, Michigan has one of the best teams in the state of Michigan. They are there. Indiana teams are there. It's just a great tournament. It gives you a really good. If you're going to have success at Maumee Bay, the chances of you having success at the state tournament are very high. We finished 5th out of 60. So just a tremendous team accomplishment. Landon Rusneck was 8th. Dante Villalobos was 8th. Chance Schlau was 3rd. Antonius Bertone 7th. Trent Taylor finished 2nd. So he upsets the number 1 seed on Friday, and it's a 2-day tournament. He upsets him on Friday and then loses in the championship match. But just a tremendous performance by Trent and all of our guys. Every point counts in a thing like that to get us to 5th place. So, we're now in sort of our, hit the pause button on the tournament side.
Right.
And we're into some duels. Tonight, as we've mentioned, we've mentioned senior night for swim. Wrestling is going to be happening at the same time. So, and we're honoring our veterans tonight. So it's Veterans Night. Any veteran who comes to a wrestling match tonight gets in free, regardless of age. Sometimes we know our vets are older, and we allow our seniors in for free anyway, age 60 or higher. But any vet who has served is in free tonight. We're going to take some time to recognize them at the wrestling match tonight. We have Independence and Brush coming in here for a duel, or a try, I should say. And then we're into we were seated, I think, 2nd overall at the state duels. So we don't get to host this year. We'll head over to West Geauga on February 7th. That's a Saturday. And if we can get out of there, we would have to win 2 matches. We wrestle Padua first. If we beat Padua, we would wrestle West G. And if we beat the Wolverines, we're on to Columbus and are qualified for the state dual team tournament yet again at Bishop Watterson. So just, again, exciting time here, coming off a tremendous performance last week out at Maumee.
Yeah, so swim and wrestling both in action here tonight at Perry. Girls basketball tomorrow. The other couple of teams that we still have to look at, gymnastics.
Yep.
We talked last week with Marley, and their season is off and running.
Yeah, they're going every weekend again. Similar to girls wrestling, there's not a ton of local events. We get one this weekend where it's not that downtown Cleveland's stone's throw away, but at least closer than Cincinnati or Columbus, where they've competed. We are at the Cleveland Public Auditorium, and they will be competing today, Friday evening, down at the all-around, the Cleveland all-around competition. So best of luck to our gymnastics girls this evening and this weekend.
And then the new club sport, bowling, still going for both boys and girls.
Absolutely, and we just submitted our rosters for Chagrin Valley Conference, which will take place on Sunday, February 1st. So, again, just proud that we've been able to put a team together to compete. Not only at the conference level they will compete at the state level in the sectionals the following week. So, again, that's where we're getting with some of our sports. You get a sport like wrestling that doesn't necessarily start their individual sectionals until the end of February. That's the same weekend state swim happens and state bowling happens. So we've got some of these sports that are really we're very short time away from starting that postseason run, where we have others where we're just starting that sectionals for boys basketball and wrestling, and girls would be in the districts at the end of February. So they're all sort of spread out through that month of February, but yeah, just an exciting time overall.
Yeah, so wrestling tonight, a senior night for swim. Tonight, tomorrow, here at Perry, all 3 events. Girls basketball at 12 noon for JV. Another senior night for Adriana. So a lot going on in the next 24 to 48 hours here at Perry.
Yeah, and a quick shout out to our girls. We're going to have Mindy Allen on next week to talk some middle school sports. So I don't want to steal her thunder. She can talk about our accomplishments. Our 8th graders won a Chagrin Valley Conference championship, undefeated, back-to-back champions. Our 7th graders, lost in the championship game, so they were runners-up. So the future is bright for the girls. So their seasons have concluded, and Mindy can talk about that. I think we're going to also, depending on our time of day, we're going to try to get our new trainer, Marion Galdi, on the show as well, and sort of give some background and some insight as to what she does on a daily basis for our athletes here at Perry.
Yeah, I'm really excited to talk to Minnie because, again, that 8th grade team has been playing with just 5 girls.
It's crazy.
For the last 4 or 5 seasons, and being able to go ahead and to put back-to-back undefeated seasons together is just an amazing accomplishment.
Without a doubt. So much skill, and with only 5, no subs, so those girls are tired, and they're still, we beat West Geauga last night, and it was a running clock. So, again, I'm going to steal Mindy's stuff. Yeah. We'll talk next week about the girls. We'll update our wrestling programs on the girls and the boys side with middle school AD Mindy Allen, and then she can talk about where the boys basketball season is as well. So until then, that will be week 20. Until next week, go Pirates.